If you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume that either you or somebody you know is on the fence about playing Elden Ring. Maybe you'd relate to someone like my good friend Sammy here. We play a lot of video games together. But he now claims that because he's in medical school learning to be a doctor, that he doesn't have time to play a game like Elden Ring. And with the release of Night Rain just around the corner, I wanted to make this video to help newer players start to develop the intuition needed to fully experience this masterpiece. This is how to enjoy Elden Ring. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the difficulty. Combat can seem a bit daunting at first glance, but most encounters can be boiled down to a mindful mix of blocking or dodging attacks while safely whittling down an enemy's health bar. Some encounters can be pretty manageable, while others feel a bit more like, oh fuck. I'm going to demonstrate what I mean with some footage of me fighting this guy, the bell-bearing hunter, as I believe he serves as a great cross-section into the overall difficulty curve and gameplay loop of Elden Ring. This guy is a notorious noob killer that, unlike everything else you've fought up to this point, will one-shot your ass, which at first can feel unfair, especially when he turns into a fucking Jedi. But the thing is, you have every tool at your disposal to defeat him. Combat in Elden Ring is this beautiful mix between a waltz and a rhythm game, memorizing steps but only making a move when it's your turn. The bell-bearing hunter is difficult but fair. Every attack he does has counterplay. You parry the sword swings, dodge the lightsaber attacks, and then give him a wide berth when he's about to bust. Continuing the metaphor here, you can't expect to memorize an entire dance number on your first try. There's gonna be trial and error, which I admit can feel frustrating, but pales in comparison to the moments where you're Neo finally seeing the Matrix. I'm actually fucking good at this game. No one talk to me or step to me for the foreseeable future, please. Elden Ring doesn't have any safety nets for its players, meaning that each victory is earned by you and you alone. And if you're anything like my good friend Sammy, you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, well, I don't have time to do all of that. Quick counter here. Sammy, how many hours do you have on Marvel Rivals?
I have 200 hours.
Interesting. The point I'm trying to make here is that Elden Ring and Souls-likes are a palate cleanser from the lightning-fast ranked queues and short-term dopamine rushes that reign supreme in today's game design. I'm not saying that these are all necessarily bad features, but we've rewired our brains to hate going slow. But there is beauty in the struggle, in the proverbial training arc of playing this game. You will die a lot, and you will get frustrated, probably even more. But there isn't another game or franchise that will give you the same level of satisfaction as Elden Ring. Dismantling a moveset piece by piece until that boss you once perceived as an unstoppable force is reduced to just change in your puppy. Let's fucking go! I'm gonna wake up my puppy. Remember that the boss has to win every time, and you just have to win once. Moving on, baked into the perception of Elden Ring's difficulty is also that it's a bit of a time sink. And to be fair, I think this is a valid reason that people are intimidated by the game. I mean, people have real-life obligations like work or school or trigger warning. Things that make investing 60+ hours into a single playthrough feel like too large of a commitment. Full transparency here, I took around 120 hours for my first playthrough. Mind you, I took my time exploring and looking for secrets, but again, this isn't feasible for everyone. There are two camps that I kind of want to divide this argument into, that being the people who won't invest their time in Elden Ring, and to the people who can't invest their time in Elden Ring. I'll spare you all a larger rant on attention spans in gaming as a whole, but what I will say is this. To the people who won't invest their time into Elden Ring, I invite you to think about this game differently than the other games you might have played previously. Like I alluded to when we were talking about difficulty earlier, this isn't a game to be rushed through or mindlessly piloted. If you're hitting a wall, it's not because the game is unfair, it's because the game is trying to tell you something that you might have missed. And not getting it on the first try is incredibly normal. I mean, dude, the first game in this franchise, besides Demon's Souls, is literally called the Prepare to Die edition. You're going to lose. Just don't take it personally. Without sounding like an even larger version than I already do, I want to address a few common complaints attributed to Elden Ring and their corresponding solutions, if you will. Complaint number 1. A boss is unfair or too difficult. The next time you're playing Loading Screen Simulator, I want you to ask yourself, why did I die? Did I try to sneak in too many hits? Did I run out of stamina and die to the human meteor attack? Getting kicked back to a checkpoint over and over again doesn't mean that a boss is broken. It means that you're not taking time to understand why it's happening. Just because the game is fast-paced doesn't mean that it's necessarily without thought. So let me demonstrate what I mean by showing you what my thought process was whenever this guy stumped me. The Bell-Bearing Hunter has these lightsaber attacks that come out at variable timings that do a ridiculous amount of damage, both to my in-game health bar and to my IRL psyche. Pass until nightfall. Wait for it to pass until nightfall. Press B, stand up, sit back down, put your left foot in, put your left foot out, drink my flask of wondrous physic just to get my turned out. I love this fucking game. What I came to realize is that he only does those attacks at longer ranges, so if I stick close to him, he swaps to these regular sword swings that I can parry and counterattack. Now for complaint number 2. My weapon is too weak, or the enemies in a new area are too strong. When I was interviewing my good friend Sammy for this video, we talked about how he feels compelled to optimize his routes through an RPG, and that it's easy in such an open world to get analysis paralysis. And in a game as large as Elden Ring, I can understand where that feeling comes from. The open world structure isn't for everyone. I get it. But as weird as it sounds, whenever you start this game up, I think you need to relax and take your time because it's not a race. And in the same way you learn or assimilate the moveset of a boss, you have to apply that same line of thinking to your map and surroundings because they will give you key information and items that will help you progress. If you didn't do this early on, you probably wouldn't know that these little cave icons have upgrade materials for your weapon and mini bosses to help you level up. You can't expect to run past every location or enemy and then be surprised when said enemies in said locations start putting belt to ass. This game is huge and you need to enjoy getting lost in its world. That leads us to complaint number 3. You don't know where to go. This is one where I truly just can't fault you for feeling this way because some of the quests in this game are just so obtuse. Like, I'll concede, I had to Google a few things on my first playthrough. And you might not want to listen to a lore dump from every NPC you meet, which, again, I can empathize with, but all I'll say is that if an invisible woman starts talking to you, you should probably listen. You might notice a bit of a recurring theme here, that being time is your friend. If you're hitting a wall, slow down, go do something else, and come back later. And finally, now we're moving to that second group of people, the people who can't invest their time in Elden Ring. If you're enticed by the combat or RPG elements of Elden Ring, but don't have the hours of your life to invest into a longer playthrough, then I might just have a happy medium for you. May 30th marks the release of Elden Ring Night Rain, and while the game hasn't released just yet, it shows a lot of promise, taking the core combat systems of Elden Ring and condensing them into a 30 to 40 minute play session with roguelike elements. While I have my reservations about bastardizing the genre, I'm more than happy to welcome and introduce new people to the franchise. Not to mention, the game has 3-player lobbies, so you can learn together as you play. And who knows, maybe you'll realize this is your cup of tea and come back to play a mainline title later down the line. Elden Ring has earned its spot in the Gaming Hall of Fame for a reason. Its brutal difficulty breeds an innovative thinking that gives players space to rise to the occasion and better themselves. While I can sympathize with the people who don't have the time to invest fully into a longer playthrough, I want to challenge any viewers who are still on the fence to remember this: you can't get good if you quit. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. I'm doing it because I like making videos and I want to make more of them in the future. So if you think this video deserves it and want to see more content like this from me in the future, consider leaving a like, subscribing, a comment down below, or even share the video with a friend that you want to play Elden Ring with. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for sticking around again, and I'll see you on the next one. Be safe, be good, don't do anything I wouldn't do. See ya.